Quote of the morning. Your first duty is to the truth, whether it's scientific truth or historical truth or personal truth. Luc Picard from Startrek The Next Generation. Okay, this is one that's been on my mind a bit lately, and I've been putting off doing a thing on so I can try to gather my thoughts, and my thoughts never gathered, so I'm just going to blah, 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 blah. We are living in an age of lies and propaganda. And propaganda is this kind of fascinating poison to a society because propaganda allows you to win a current battle, but you have this problem that the next generation is going to be raised on that propaganda and thinking that that is true and how the world works, and they are going to try and act as if that was true and how the world works, and then everything gets fucked. Like, coming to mind is like JFK handled the Cuban Missile Crisis, right? Like, the real way he handled it was his brother had backdoor meetings with Russians, and like they came to a reasonable thing like adults and decided, okay, you take your missiles out of our doorstep at Cuba, we'll take our missiles out of your doorstep in Greece, and we'll all just like de-escalate and act like a reasonable people. And then he went to the public and said, oh, I just won by being so badass and bold and brave. We got into a staring contest and I didn't blink because I'm so tough. And then decades of American politicians thought that the way to win things as presidents is just to do really stupid shit as boldly as possible. If you want to understand the last 50 years of American politics, that's it. Another example, Japan, about a decade or two before the Second World War, there was a whole bunch of political unalivings, and all carried out by soldiers who very obviously were ordered to take out their commanding officer's political opponents. Of course, they didn't say that at trial. They said, I was just moved by the spirit of patriotism to do what I felt was right. And this was accepted basically by the commanding officers who actually gave the orders and then gave those soldiers a slap on the wrist punishment as a reward for following orders. A generation later, Japan can't control its own soldiers because they were all raised being told, oh, you should just act upon your patriotic spirit and, start shooting whoever you feel like. And then they have an invasion of China that nobody at the top actually planned for or had the logistics to support. So the soldiers just kept going forward, winning battles because the spirit of patriotism moved them. So while I recognize that the sort of lies, that ignoring the truth, it poisons a society in the end. However, a lot of societies losing the propaganda war means they don't live long enough to see the results of poisoning their society with propaganda. I'm looking at the current propaganda. I don't know. Okay, yep, session over. I don't know if I even had a point after all of that. Just random thoughts in my head. Let's read that quote again. Your first duty is to the truth, whether it's scientific truth or historical truth or personal truth. Luc Picard, Star Trek The Next Generation.